Hello everyone, welcome to Voxcel. In this video, we're gonna discuss section 3 of test 2, which is taken from IELTS GT book number 20th. We have already discussed section 1 and 2 of this particular test. So if you haven't watched those videos, you should, but after watching this one. For this, I need your undivided attention so that I can teach you how to solve such type of questions. Without further ado, let's start. So if you have previously watched my videos, you should know how we start our reading. Yes, by reading the title of the passage. So the title of the passage says the nursery that took all the children's toys away. So from the title, it's quite clear that let me change the color. So it's quite clear that this passage should be about a nursery school that took away all the children's toy. Maybe because they wanted to do something else, they wanted to like encourage children to play with each other or some other activity. So let's see. Do toys stifle children's creativity? One Munich nursery decided to find out. Sarah Joe reports. So they are just it's a sort of an experiment, I believe, that was conducted in that particular nursery, and that nursery was in Munich, Germany. Obviously, you should know about that. And this is the person that's reporting this particular finding or this particular experiment. So now we should not read the paragraph just yet. Now, what we're gonna do is yes, we will go straight to the questions, look at what kind of questions we are dealing with, then make a strategy, and then start reading the paragraph. So let's see. Questions. So total number of questions we are going to solve is 28 to 40. So for questions 28 to 30, so this will be a first set of questions. These are MCQ, so you have to pick the correct option. So let's read this. What does Gisela Marti criticize about nurseries in third? So this particular question starts from the third paragraph. So we don't have to worry about the first or second paragraph for this question. Okay, and second, these questions are almost always in order. So most of the time, you will find the first question, like 28th question before 29 and 29 before 30th. 31 to 35. Let me change the color. So what we have to do is in this is look at the following statements and the list of people below. Okay, so you have to match the people with the statement. So match each statement with the correct person A, E. So we have been given five people A, B, C, D, E. Okay, then what we have to do is just 1 second, guys. Someone's at the door. Yes, just give me some time. Okay, sorry about that. So where were we? Yeah. So we were discussing this. So we have to match people with the correct statement. For example, we have been given five people like Gisela Marti, Gudrun Huber, L.K. Schubert, Klaus Fathers, Elsa Davis. I am sorry if I'm mispronouncing these some of these names or all of these names. I think I may have butchered some names, so sorry about that. And last set of question, so we have to complete the summary, so in other words blanks, and we have to write one word only, and this particular answer will be in the paragraph the nursery without twice project. Okay, so that's also in this particular thing. So we will look at this particular question when we read the first paragraph. Clear? So now what we're gonna do is, now we know these are our like five people we have been given. So whenever we will find any name, we will go to these question and try to identify whether some information is given there or not, or whether any person said that particular thing or not in that particular paragraph. Clear? And for these question, we know 28th question is in the third paragraph itself, so not in the first or in the second. Okay, and for the 29th, it's about again Gisela Marti and toys back, so we will look after that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna read the first paragraph, and then we're gonna see whether these question or these are in this paragraph or not. Clear? So let's read the paragraph together. Children are ready consumers, particularly of toys. Their toy chests may be bursting, but they are still desperate for the latest doll or train set. So, obviously, that's a well known fact that children, they will buy toys more often than not. So they are like, you can say, sucker for toys. Their toy chest, so the place where they keep their toys, because it's their treasure, so they, it may be bursting, so the chests may be bursting, but they are still desperate for their latest doll or trend set, but they still want more. Depriving children of their toys seems unkind, yet a growing number of nurseries in Germany do just this. So if you are like not allowing children to play with their toys, it seems unkind, like it seems harsh on them. Yet there is a growing number of nurseries in Germany that's doing just this. For 3 months of the year, they put away their toys, and all that is left to play with are the tables, chairs, and a few blankets. So, what they do is, for 3 months, okay, not for the entire year or the entire course, they just take away their toys or put away their toys for 3 months, and they have to play with the tables, chairs, and few blankets. Obviously they must be playing with their peers, otherwise they will get bored with by like if they play with only tables, chairs, and a few blankets. Let's see. So now we have read the first paragraph, so we know there is no answer in the 28 because it's in the third paragraph. Gisela Marti, we haven't found any word or any name. How did the children feel about getting their toys back? There is no mention about that. First they have to take their toys. There will be some report on that, like what are the findings, then we will get our toys back. So let's mark the main words: danger and Gisela Marti. So wherever there is talk about danger and it is being talked about Gisela Marti, we will come to this, and getting toys back, we will come to this. Now obviously we don't have to read these questions because there is no name here, so there will be no answer in this. And this, on the first day of the project, again, until or unless we find the first day of the project, there is no use of reading these questions as well. So we read any first day of the project in this particular thing? No, we haven't started the project just yet, so there is no need of reading this. Now we'll come to the second paragraph. The project is called, it's in German, so I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. So we will call it Kindergarten Project, the nursery without twice, and was founded by Rainer Strick and Elke Schubert, public health officers who worked with adults suffering from various forms of addiction. So these two people, they like started this particular project because they were working with adults who were suffering from various forms of addiction. They were concerned about the addictive habits that start early in childhood and wanted to show that children can play happily and creatively when they are not being suffocated by their toys. So why they started? Because they were concerned that these addictive habits, like the way we get addicted to something, this particular habits start early in childhood. So they wanted to show that children, they can play happily and creatively when they are not being suffocated by their toys, like they don't have any toys with them, so they start using their imagination and they're still happy while playing with like inanimated objects like tables, chairs, blankets, their peers, their friends. They are still happy while doing that. So they wanted to show these kind of things. Now we haven't read about Gisela Marti. Okay, there is no name in it, so we don't have to read these like questions just yet. And again, there is no mention on the first day of the project, so we don't have to worry about that. So that means in the first two paragraphs we didn't have, or we don't have any answer. So let's read the third paragraph and see whether we have any answer or answers in it or not. One of the nurseries that has been following this project for the past 2 years is Frederick Engels Bogen Nursery in Munich. Again, I'm sorry if I butchered this name. Okay, so this particular nursery in Munich, for the past 2 years, this particular nursery is running this particular project. Gisela Marti. So, okay, we have been given a name here. A teacher says again. So, whenever we're trying to find a person, we are trying to find these particular words, says or like said, something like that. In these 3 months, we offer the children space and time to get to know themselves. The aim is to make children self confident, able to bear conflict and frustration, able to say yes as well as no, and also aware of their weaknesses and strengths. So that's the purpose of their project. Their aim is to make children self confident, able to bear conflict and frustration. So when they're playing with their friends, obviously there will be conflicts and there will be some kind of frustration, so they want children to be able to cope up with these kind of stuff, and they want children to be able to say yes and no to their friends as well, so that when they grow up they will be able to say no to those things they don't want to do. Because if they grow up to be people pleaser, they will say yes to those things they don't want to do, so it can land them in trouble obviously. According to Gisela Marti, the children is deliberately unstructured. Children's Day is deliberately unstructured as one of the basic beliefs of the project is that children spend too much time being rushed around from one activity to another and they end up with the reduced space for life. The children are encouraged to do what they want in their own way. So this particular person, Gisela Marti, says that children's day, like they are structured deliberately, they are deliberately unstructured, like that deliberately, like with the tension, they are not giving any instruction to children, like you have to do first this, then you will do this, then you will do this. There is no structure to their day, so they can do whatever they want to do because they believe that when it is structured, so they spend too much time being rushed around from one activity to another. Like you have 30 minutes to play the game, then for the next 30 minutes you will do this, then for 30 minutes you will do this, something like that. But some children may do that particular task in less than 30 minutes, some may need more than 30 minutes, so they are being rushed from one activity to another. So what it results in, they end up with the reduced space for life. So the children now are encouraged to do what they want and in their own way. So now we are not forcing children to do the stuff that we want them to do. They are doing stuff that they want to do themselves and in their own way. There is no time limit on that. There is no particular instructions given to or being shouted at them, like do this, do not do this, do whatever you please. These are the things that you have to play with. Whatever you please, do that. Clear? So okay. So okay, one thing we now do is we know that 28th answer will be in the third paragraph. We're going to read the 28th question, and after reading all the options, I will give you around 10 seconds to tell me the answer. And if you need more time than that, you can pause the video and continue when you're ready with your answer. So let's read the question now. What does Gisela Marti criticize about nurseries in the third paragraph? Now we have to tell this particular person what it criticizes, he or she criticizes. A, the length of time children spend there. Is Gisela Marti critical of the length of the time children spend in the nurseries, the number of arguments children have, or C, the lack of physical space for children's play? So is this particular person criticizing the lack of space, or the amount of organization children are exposed to, or the amount of organization that children are exposed to? Is Gisela Marti criticizing this particular thing? So now you have around 10 seconds for this, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up. I am again reiterating it. If you need more time, you can pause the video, and when you're ready, you can continue. Now we're gonna look at these options. So first, I'm gonna mark the correct option, then I'm gonna cross out the incorrect option. And the correct option is A, B, C, or D. Yes, the correct option is D option. The amount of organization children are exposed to. Where it is written? Yes, here. From here, let me mark from here to here. Just let me mark the location, then I will explain. So here they're saying that the amount of organization. So here they're saying that children are being rushed from one activity to another, and they end up with the reduced pace for life. So this is the criticism Gisela Marti has of these of the nurseries that are too structured. So that's why they have that this particular person is in the favor of unstructured day. So first option, let's see, the length of the time children spend there is no mention of the length of the time. So the number of arguments, no, that this person is not criticizing. So in fact they are encouraging to solve the conflicts, encouraging children to bear conflict, to solve conflict. There is no mention of the number of arguments. So the lack of physical space for children, there is no mention of that. Though many students will say reduce space, lack of physical space, no. So reduce space for lives, this is the complete phrase, reduce space for life. That means they are not able to live their life fully. It's like a sort of metaphor, it's not the words for the lack of space. I hope it is clear. Okay, talking about danger, Giselata Mattis. Okay, there is no mention of talking about danger, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, let's see if the yeah, Gisela Marti. Now, let me change the color first. Now let we will read all these questions, then I will give you around 10 seconds so as to tell me whether there is any answer here or not. 31st. Those children who are not part of the project have poorer social skills than those who are. Is there any mention of children and that are not the part of a project? They have poor social skills than those who are involved in the particular project. Is there any mention of any project here? Obviously not, though it can be our answer. 32, a goal of the project is to enable children to express both agreement and disagreement. Is there any mention that whatever the project is, the goal of that particular project is that it helps children, enables children to express both their agreements, let me do this, and their disagreements? Okay, let's read the 33rd question. An excess of toys can lead to irritation in a child. Like if there is mention of like there are a lot of toys and it can lead to irritation in child. So that will be our answer. 34th. People working in education may fail to appreciate the importance of children deciding themselves how to fill their time. So if if Gisela is talking about people who are working in education, meaning to say teachers, professors, okay, they may fail to appreciate the importance of children deciding themselves how to fill their time. Like they are not able to like grasp the importance of this particular activity, like children deciding themselves what they want to do, they what amount of time they want to spend on a particular activity. They may fail to appreciate this particular thing. 35 question 35th question, sorry. At first the employees at the nursery found it hard to allow the children to do whatever they wanted to do. Like in the beginning, or like you say at the start of that particular project, employees at the nursery, so who are the employees? The staff members, the clerical staff, whatever, like whoever these are people are, like teachers, clerical staff, they found it hard, so they found it difficult to allow children to do whatever they wanted to do, because they are so used to controlling children, bossing around children. It was hard for them to sit back and relax and allow children to do what they want to do. So now you have around 10 seconds to tell me whether there is any answer. Like obviously we know whatever the answer should be, it should be of Gisela Marti. Whether Gisela Marti said any of these things or not. And the time starts now. Okay, time's up. And our answer, is there any answer or not here? Yes, and that is question number 32. Good. A option. Let me mark it here. Where it is written? Yes, here. Yes as well as no. So yes refers to your agreement and no refers to your disagreement. Good. I hope it is clear. Apart from that, is there any other thing? There is no excess of toys. There is no like uh, failing to appreciate mention or something like that, and there is nothing mentioned about employees find it difficult. Okay, now let's look at blanks. On the first day of project, is there any mention of the first day of the project? No, so we don't have to worry about that. Moving on to the next paragraph. Let me do this. Yeah, so it's easy to read the complete paragraph. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna read this talking about danger, Gisela Mati. So if there is any mention of danger, we will read this or getting their toys back, otherwise we will not read this. A video taken of the children during the 3-month toy free period shows them on the first day staring at each other hesitantly and looking apprehensively around the big empty classroom. Now, now, which color? Okay. First day of the project. So here it is written on the first day. So we have found the location. So our answer is should be here. But before that, we will just continue reading. One of the nursery teachers, Gordon Huber. So yes, we have Gordon Huber. This is our person. Says we left them alone even if they were bored because sometimes things in life are boring and you have to learn to cope. So this particular person is saying that they left them alone. Them mean to say children, even if children are bored or children were bored here in this particular case, because sometimes in life things are life are sorry, some things in life are boring. So if I talk about study, if I talk about like things that can improve you, like watching reading videos, this can be a bit boring, but you have to learn to cope with boredom so that you can make a bright future. On the second day, the children are filmed playing with chairs and blankets. They make a den by draping the blankets over the table and weighing them down with shoes. And then they start running around the room, chatting and laughing excitedly. But on the second day, everything changes. Children are now enjoying their playing with chairs and blankets, making den or forts with the help of blankets, and weighing the blankets with shoes so that they do not move, and start running around the chair room, chatting with each other and laughing excitedly. Gordon Huber explains how this put them in an entirely different mood. Once the children realized they could do what they liked and they were in control, they really went a bit mad. They got very boisterous and excited, climbing all over sorry about that, climbing all over the furniture. So this was their reaction. Initially it was difficult for staff, not just because it was unbearably noisy, but because, as Gordon Hoover says, it was difficult to hold back and let the children be. So like initially for the staff members it was difficult. Why? Because one, it was unbearably noisy. Okay, not just because this, but second thing is it was difficult for them to sit back or hold back and let children be children. So do let them do what they really want, that really wanted to do. I hope this paragraph is clear. Okay, so do you think we need to read the question number 29 here? No, because there is no mention of Gisela Mati here. Clear? And 30th, no, because they are not getting their toys back in this paragraph as well. Okay. Now, for these questions, so for option B, Gudrun Huber, so you have around 10 seconds. So here is the information you need here and here and here as well. So in the inverted commas, you have the main information. And for telling me the answer, you have around 10 seconds. The time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's read the questions together. The children who are not the part of the project have poor. So there is any mention of children part of the project and those children who are not the part of the project. There is no mention like that. So this cannot be our answer. We have done this. Excess of toys can lead to irritation. Is there any mention of giving children toys? No. In fact, they're taking the toys away. So this cannot be our answer. 34th, people working in education may fail to appreciate the importance of children deciding themselves. Is there any mention that people are not able to fully appreciate this particular activity, like children doing something on their own, deciding on their own? No, again, there is no mention of that particular thing. 35th, is there any mention of like first at first employees find it difficult to allow children do whatever they wanted to do? Yes, there is. This is our answer. Let me mark here. This is said by B. Gordon Huber. Clear? Where it is written? Yes, in the last itself. So at first they have written initially it was difficult because first it was noisy. Second, teacher could not, like, it was difficult to hold back. This is question 35. I hope it is clear. So hard to allow children do whatever they wanted to do. So it was difficult to hold back and let children be children. I hope it is clear. Moving on to the blanks. So now we know this is the first day, this is the first day, and then it is the second day. Let me change the color. Oh, sorry about that. So it is about the second day. So let's read the 36th blank first. On the first day of the project, a video shows that the children at nursery did not know what to do in the blank because it contained no toys. I think even without reading, we know what kind of word should be there. So on the first day of the project, there was a video evidence obviously, and that particular evidence shows that children didn't know like what to do in the, so in they were in somewhere, so they didn't know what to do in that particular place because this particular place had no toys. So let's read that. A video, so we know this is the video taken of the children during the 3-month toy free period shows that on the first day they were staring at each other hesitantly and looking apprehensively around the big empty classroom. Okay, so one of the teachers says we left them alone even if they were bored because sometimes thinking it said that's the second day then. So obviously our answer is before the second day here. In these sentences you have your answer. I'm not gonna give you the exact sentence, not gonna narrow down to that. That's for you to find out. Then the time starts now. Okay, time's up, and the answer to this particular question is yes, classroom. So don't worry if you were not able to identify this answer. I will tell you why this is our answer. Just give me 1 sec. Let me. So why it is classroom? Because here it was big empty. So because it was toy free period. So obviously if something is toy free or the period is toy free, so it will have no toys. So they were looking at the big empty classroom, so it had no toys, it was empty. If there is no toys, so obviously it is empty. The next day, okay, so the next day means the second day. Let's read it because we have location here. They used tables, blankets, and something to build a den. So now we know we have read about making a den. Here it is. Now they used tables, we know. They used blankets and something else to build a den. Let's read it together. On the second day, the children are filled playing with chairs and blankets. They make a den by draping the blankets over the tables and weighing them down with shoes, and then they start running around the room chatting and laughing excitedly. Okay, so the answer is in these sentences. Okay, let me do this again. The answer is in these sentences, obviously, and you have the around 10 seconds, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up. And the answer to this question is yes, shoes. So it was a bit tricky question. I will not say that it was too difficult, but it was a bit tricky. Why? Let me. Okay, some of you might have said chairs. Why? Because you must have read blankets, blankets, chairs. So tables have been written, blankets have been written, tables and blankets. These words have been written. So what left? Chairs. But no. In the next sentence, in this particular sentence, they have again written. They made a den by draping blankets over tables. So tables, blankets, and weighing them down with shoes. They are in this particular sentence they are just talking about chairs and tables, like they were playing with them, chairs and blankets, sorry. Okay, but if they wanted to make a den, they used blankets over tables and then shoes to like weigh them down. I hope it is clear. Let's read the 38th question and see if it is here in this paragraph or not. According to Gisela. Okay, now we don't need to read more than that, because whatever wherever this answer will be, it will be where Gisela Marti is mentioned. Once they adopted to the new approach, they began to make up dash and do shows. So they adapted, something about adaptation will be there to a new approach, and they started to do something. Began meanings to they started. Okay, but here there is no mention of that. So now what I'm going to do is, so I will remove this because obviously our answer is not here. Okay, so that you can easily identify this is our answer location. Now moving to the next paragraph. Like Gudrun Huber, Gisela Marti found it hard to reevaluate the rules she was used to. Let's. So if we find about talking about danger, we will read this, otherwise there is no need. They weren't allowed to do anything really dangerous, but they were allowed to jump on chairs and tables, and that is not something they would normally be allowed to do. Okay, now we are talking about danger. So let me change the color. So dangerous, danger. Now we will read this paragraph. We know we may find the answer here. As a teacher you do have to have sorry as a teacher you do have to have confidence in children, but she adds everyone has to work within their own boundaries, and some teachers will allow more dangerous and active play than others. So as a teacher you have to have confidence in children, otherwise you will not allow them to do anything in life or anything at school, or basically. And she adds that everyone like every teacher or every person has to work within their own boundaries, and some teachers they will allow more dangerous plays and than others. Like for some teachers jumping on chairs, it's a no big deal, but for others it can be a big deal if they have some past experience or bad experience with that type of thing. So it depends on person to person. Clear? So let's read the options now for 29th. When talking about danger, Gisela Marti suggests that teachers may have to. Okay, so there's something about teachers as well. Learn how to reduce it. Is there anything about, like, if there is something about reduction, then A will be our answer. Adjust their response to it. If there is something about adjustment, B will be our answer. Explore what causes it, like it basically refers to danger, obviously. If they are exploring, finding out the reasons of danger, then C will be our answer. Agree, when to avoid it. If they agree, like when to avoid the danger, then D will be our answer. So this is where it is written. So now you will have around 10 seconds, tell me the answer, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up. So I'm gonna mark the answer first. So which answer have you marked? A, B, C, or D? Yes. Our answer is option B. Adjust their response to it. So here, some teachers allow more dangerous games than or plays than others. So you have to adjust their response to it. So everyone w- work. Sorry about that. Work in their own boundaries, and they have to adjust their response to it. Let's see why other options cannot be our answer. So learn how to reduce it. There is no mention of reducing the danger, and there is no mention of exploring the causes, because we know they are playing on, they are jumping on chairs. These are tables. So why, if they, we know why we will need to find these causes, because we already know them. Agree, when to avoid it. There is no mention of agree any agreement here. Like they will not allow to jump on chairs if the chair is placed at a certain place, or if the height is more than this. So there is no agreement like this. So that's why D cannot be our answer. Clear? 30th, getting the toys back. There is no mention of that. So we do not need to read the options just yet. Clear? Now, there is mention of Gisela Marti. Okay, but here you can see there is no information like NB. You may use any letter more than one. So if we have found the answer for one, so that just means we do not need to worry it for the second time. I hope it is clear. And like, what about the blanks? Okay, according to Gisela, had they adopted to any new approach? Is there any mention of adopting to new approach or new routine, something like that? No. So obviously blanks. There is no there is no other answer in this particular paragraph. We have only answer to question number 29. So what will we do? We will read the next paragraph. Gisela Marti found that once children settled down to the new regime, they invented games. Okay, now there we will do this. If we find getting the toys back, we will like mark any answer here. They invented games. They loved acting. Now, one more thing we have found about new regime and settled down to new regime. Is is these words ringing any bells? Are these words ringing any bells? Yes. Here, a new approach, adapted. So if you are adapting to something, you're settling down. Clear? New approach is paraphrased as new regimes. They began, they invented. Clear? So they began to make up something and do shows. They loved acting and putting on a show, pretending to be in circus or on a train, but most importantly, all the time they were playing and they were learning to socialize. Clear? So our answer is here, somewhere here. So now you have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer to this particular question, and the time starts now. Time's up, and the answer to this question is yes, games. I hope everybody was able to find this answer. This is our question number 38. So why? So if you are making up something, you are began to make up. They invented something. So it is like used as a collocation. Began to make up games, invented games, and do shows and loved acting and putting on a show. That's our other words. Let's read other. They might have imagined they were in the dash, for example, or traveling on a train. So have you read about a train? Yeah, there is something about train. So obviously our answer will be in this particular sentence, and the time starts now. Time's up, and the answer to this question is circus. I hope everybody was able to arrive at this particular answer. It was quite straightforward. So let's match the words. So here they have written imagined. So if you are imagining something, if you are pretending to be in circus, you are imagining that you are in a circus. Clear? For example, or traveling on a train. So we know train is written here. All these activities taught them how to something. Let's see if this is written. But most importantly, all that time they were playing, they were learning to socialize. Yes, this is our location. I will not tell you the answer just yet. You will get the time to tell me the answer, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up, and the answer to this question is socialize. It was quite straightforward. I hope you were able to arrive at the correct answer, but if not, don't worry. I'm going to explain obviously. Now, so here they're saying activities taught them how to. So if you are learning something, you are being taught by something. How to do something, learning to socialize. So if I'm teaching you to do reading, you are learning to solve reading. If I'm teaching you to solve reading, you are learning to solve reading. I hope it is clear. Other than that, we have solved all these. So our blanks are complete, so we don't have to worry about them. So we have, how many questions are left? 31, 33, 34, and 30th. So we have these four questions left. This is our paragraph. Now we're going to read this next paragraph. 2 weeks before the end of the project, the teachers and children had a group discussion about which toys they would like to, sorry, they would like brought back. Okay, now we are bringing toys back. So hopefully our answer will be here in this particular in this particular paragraph of 30th question. Let's read the question. Okay, let's read the question first. How did the children feel about getting their toys back? They were impatient to get them back. If the children were impatient, this will be your answer. They had not expected. If they were not expecting this, if it was a surprise, this will be our answer. They had lost interest in getting them back, this will be our answer. They had mixed feelings about getting them back, this will be our answer. Let's see what kind of feeling they had. The children were happy to get their toys back, but they were also aware that they had fun without them. So obviously they were happy because they were getting their toys back, but they were also aware, like they also knew that they had fun without them, like they were not entirely dependent on them. As one little boy in Gordon Hoover's class said, I like having no toys because then you can use your imagination instead. So one boy said he liked because having no toys. Why? Because he was using his imagination. Yes, that's the feeling of children that is given in this particular paragraph. So we have the answer here. So the time starts now. Okay, time's up. So the answer to this particular question is A, B, C, or D? Yes, the answer is D. Let me first mark it, then I will explain why other are not our answer. Question. So first, let's look at the A option. There is no mention of children being impatient to get them back. So they said they were happy, but they also had fun without them. So they were getting it back, they were getting their toys back, they were happy about it, but it didn't bother them when they didn't have them. So they had mixed feelings. So they had not expected, there is no mention of this. They have lost, no, if they had lost interest, why would be they happy? If they were happy, means they are interested in getting them back. So C cannot be our answer. So they had mixed feelings. They were happy they were getting it back, but then again they were not too sad if when they didn't have them. I hope it makes sense. So let's see if do we need to read these questions. No. Why? Because there is no name mentioned here. So we have done two sets of questions from 28 to 30 and from 36 to 40. These two sets of questions are complete. So we don't have to worry about that. Now we have to look at these three questions. So three people are left, three questions are left. Let's look at this particular paragraph. At the end of the project, L.K. Schubert thought there were definite benefits. So, do we have this particular person here? Yeah, C option is L.K. Schubert. So, let me change the color first. What's happening here? Yeah. So, this is the name of the person, L.K. Schubert. There were definite benefits. We find that children on the project concentrate better when they work, integrate better into groups, and communicate better than children who didn't take part in it. So, I'm not going to explain it much because it's quite, I believe, obvious. You will get around 10 seconds. Tell me C option is L.K. Schubert. You will get around 10 seconds. Tell me which question is our answer. And I'm going to write it here. And the time starts now. Okay. Time's up. And our answer to this question is question 31. Yes. Let me write here C option. So here they said children who are in part of project, who are not part of project have poor social skills than those who are. So here we find children on the project. They integrate better into groups and communicate better than children who didn't take part, not part of the project. So there is the comparison. I hope everybody got this particular answer or is clear. Moving on to the next paragraph. The parents were also positive about how the time with toys affected their children. Some parents have been some parents have even copied the nursery's example. As one father said, Klaus used to get out all his toys and spread them all over the room, and they got in such a mess that he wasn't playing properly with any of them. So now they are talking about father of one particular kid, and I believe there is, yeah, Klaus's father. So the children name is child's name is Klaus. So it's his father. So he's saying that this particular child clause, he used to like spread all over his toys all over the room, and it was such a mess that he wasn't playing properly. So we put all the toys away in the cellar, and now we only get out what he actually wants to play with, and gets much less frustrated. So this is the particular thing this person is saying. Now you will have around 10 seconds. Tell me so whether 33 or 34 is any answer here or not, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up. Yes, there is our answer. Let's read the questions together. Excess of toys can lead irritation in a child, or people in education may fail to appreciate this. Which is the answer? Yes, 33. D. I hope everybody understand this particular thing. So here they said accessor twice called irritation. So he wasn't playing properly. Now we do give them what he wants. Clear? Now last paragraph. Elsa Davis. Yeah, last person is Elsa Davis. So obviously we know this answer should be answer E. But then again, we will find this particular answer. Uh, yeah. So we will find this particular answer. Elsa Davis is director of National Playing Fields Association. She says the most natural and durable learning happens through play and often play which is freely chosen by the child. Teachers often underestimate the power of that learning. So you have around 10 seconds to tell me the keywords here and the time starts now. Okay, time's up. So obviously this is our location. Let me just write the question first. This is 2, 3, 4. So here they said fail to appreciate. So if you are failing to appreciate, that just means you are underestimating the power of something. So if you underestimate something or someone, you are not appreciating their qualities or their talent to the full extent. Clear? So chosen by the child, deciding themselves. Children deciding themselves, play chosen by the child. Clear? I hope you understood everything. So let's see whether we have completed all the questions or not. Let's start from the bottom. 36, 37, 38, and 40th. Yes, we have done that. 35th, 34th, 33rd, 32nd, 31st. We have done that. 38, 28, 29, 28. Yeah. So this is how you should solve the reading. This is how you should plan your readings. You should solve simultaneously. It will save ample of your time. But for this, if you don't know how to solve this, you can watch my other videos as well. So after that you have to practice on your own. Without practice, this skill will not come easy. You should not, it's not like just watching these videos will help you. These videos will help you to understand how to solve readings, but until and unless you practice on your own, you will not get any better. Clear? And one more thing with before outing this particular video, if you are struggling in your writing and or speaking, you can enroll in our video course, the link to which I will give the link of my website in the bio. So you can enroll in that particular video course, in which we have thoroughly discussed the do's and don'ts of both writing and or speaking. If you want to get your desired band score, be it band 7 or more, and if you're stuck at like band 6 or 6.5, and you don't know where you are lagging, even after multiple attempts you are stuck at that particular band score. So we have discussed all the parameters like which are referred by IELTS teachers to analyze, to assess your writing, to give you band scores. We have discussed them thoroughly in the form of do's and don'ts. So if you are struggling to like find out your mistakes, you can do that. And in addition to that, you can buy our writing correction service, in which we will mark your essay according to the 4 parameters and tell you where you are lagging and what you need to do to improve that to get your desired band scores. Or you can buy our one-to-one speaking slot, in which again we will take your speaking the way the examiner takes your speaking, and then give you review about according to the 4 parameters of speaking, where you are lacking, what you need to do to improve that particular thing, and how to get your band scores, if your desired band scores, and what are your current band score levels. So if you want that, you can go to my website, the link is in our bio, and you can enroll in our video course or our services. So that's it for this video then. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.